Welcome back to another episode of What Are We Watching? What's up, fellas? We're back.
I like
in
how
action.
you have to do the dance every time.
Every time.
I look
fail.
away just seeing if it's going to happen, and both of you guys do it.
Really?
I always do the dance.
Yeah,
This
you
keeps me in line. Like I'm like, all right.
It hypes him up. Yeah.
But you know me, I don't dance. I just do the rock away.
Great.
You know the deal.
I think that's our time for the day.
Okay. That's at least my time.
Thanks for coming
That's
out.
Keith's.
That's
That's
my
all
time.
Keith. What if we were just like, yep, that's Keith's time.
That's Keith's
and I
time for
just
the day.
unplugged
We're
her
going to
mic?
sit in his dining room today, but he's out.
Yeah, we're recording at Jack's. Not Jack's. Keith's house.
He looked me dead in the face and lied to the audience.
It's all right.
That's okay. Yeah, you get to see where I dwell.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna post Keith's address in the notes of this
Yeah,
episode.
address
If anyone
and
wants to
like
send
lots
him hate mail.
of lots of information about me that I.
Just looking at Robert De Niro staring at me the whole time.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, we got him as a guest on the pod.
Yeah. Robert, how you doing?
It's a. I don't know why his face is so big on that poster.
Yeah.
It's sick though.
So what's been going on, guys? How are you?
Oh, I'm chilling, dude. You know, just getting through.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
good.
Anyone
How
want
you
to? Every day is a gift, you know. No,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Some call
Nothing
it a
crazy.
gift, some call it a blessing, some call it bada bing.
So what have you guys been watching? Yeah, have you guys been watching anything fun? We just got done talking about all of this before we recorded, but I haven't watched anything crazy.
Whoa, you
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, I did watch the
You've been
Breakfast
watching
Club.
Ninja Turtles in Italian again.
Yeah,
All three of them. I was
Yeah.
like, how much
but with
Italian?
the,
how
but
much
with the
Italian?
volume off, so it
I was
doesn't.
like, how much Italian do you know?
Yeah,
You watch Breakfast Club?
I did watch Breakfast Club.
Did I just talk over that?
No,
Did you just say that?
Yeah, I did.
And I just
say
talked
it.
right
I was
over
like,
it?
yeah, I watched the Breakfast Club, and you're like, yeah, in
Yeah,
Italian,
no,
he's
yeah.
what the turtles. They got.
Oh, I was trying to
pasta
cover for
instead
you
of
because
swords. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was good. But I did watch. So I watched that Breakfast Club, and then there was a documentary called Brats, like the Brat Pack.
Like with
Oh,
a
I
Z?
saw that.
No,
I
not
saw
like the
the,
toy.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I saw that advertised.
yeah, it was pretty sick. I mean, it was like all of the. It was the one dude, Andrew
McCarthy.
did it, and then he like organized it. It was pretty cool. They had basically like everyone except Molly Ringwald and who's the guy who played Brian in Breakfast Club? Anthony Michael Hall.
Wait, but why no? Why would she not be in it?
She was like, I'm just done talking about. She's like, I get it. We were all. In these
Yeah,
movies.
she's
like,
now she just
so
acts.
over it. Yeah,
She's a bad
so
actress
good
in bad
for it
movies
now.
now.
No, dude, she literally like just her. Are you doing a bit right now?
I thought I saw her in something that was sucked.
She's been doing like Netflix movies. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
so she can't do the like.
Dude, she played Claire in Breakfast Club. She doesn't have to do anything else.
I mean, she's done a lot, but like,
Yeah, you
why
can't
wouldn't
forget
you
where you
embrace
came
that
from.
shit?
You
Like,
gotta
those are some of the best movies you're ever gonna be in.
That's fair. They had Rob Lowe on it though. He's God, what a good looking
Yeah.
dude. He's like,
What?
yeah, dude, I'm eating Atkins.
Nah,
I'm like,
you know
all
what?
right. I'm like, you didn't have to bring that
Let's
up.
check. Let's check her out because I feel like I saw her in something. And I was like,
Keith's
this
gonna
is
check
what
the
she's
tape.
up to. She's still alive doing her thing.
But that documentary was very good. I think that was on Amazon. And then Breakfast Club's just awesome. I
Yeah,
love
let's
them.
go.
I will watch
Let's go
any
over
John
that.
Hughes movie any number of times and not
It
be
is a
tired
good
of
movie.
it.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Oh, she's in that movie Bad Things.
I
That's
didn't
a
see that
weird
one.
movie.
What is that on?
That's a Shudder movie.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's what I saw her in, and she doesn't look like herself, but she does. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell is she been up to? Oh, this is what she's doing.
What is she?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nick. She's starring the Kissing Booth trilogy.
Yeah, dude, those are
I'm
fighting
so
words.
sorry.
Say
I can't
that-
be in
say it around-
I can't be in a freaking documentary about the greatest generation of all. Oh wait,
This is World War II.
16 Candles sucks. I don't want to think about
probably
that.
making
Pretty in
Kissing-
Pink. That movie stinks too. Like what?
She's
How is she
probably
better
Kissing
than that?
Booth
I don't know.
That fired me. That
Revenge.
fired me right up.
Yeah, Keith's ready to rumble. Do you want to tell us what you've been
Freaking-
watching to redeem, I guess, my poor choices?
I'll if I ever see her in person, I'm gonna shake her hand.
I was like, this is gonna go one of two ways.
Good job, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with your life.
I respect your career.
Yeah, I respect whatever you decide to do.
What did you get? What did you
yeah,
watch?
so like
What did
good
you
luck
get?
good luck in your endeavors or whatever you decide to do in Netflix.
Yeah, and then you walk away and be like, I freaking roasted her. But
like-
anyway,
She's
all right. What did you watch, Keith?
like, who is that guy? He's crazy.
It's pretty good. Molly Ringwald impression.
All right, so theater movies. I saw Kinds of Kindness, the new Yorgos Lanthimos. That's a good movie. I don't know if it's like a recommended people to watch. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really know what to say about it.
I don't know.
I
how
liked
to- I don't know how to
it.
follow
He
up
makes
with it.
weird movies.
Yeah, I know,
Who,
but
who did that one?
Yorgos.
Lanthimos. He did Poor Things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Poor Things, I think, is a much more accessible, fun movie.
Wow, he really turned around and did like another one right away.
He has another one coming too.
Really?
It's crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's. I like his style. He's weird, but this is weird, but it's good. Emma Stone obviously kills. Clemens kills. Defoe kills. Yeah, it's so weird movie. There's three parts, and
this
they're all.
is not Poor Things. This is the new one.
Kinds of Kindness.
Oh, okay.
It's three
so she's
different.
in that one again.
Three different
She's in another one of his movies.
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
That's
what?
That's
That's
his
her third. I
That's
think.
his muse now.
Right.
Yeah,
Similar
favorite.
to.
Poor Things and.
And
They just work well together. I guess you find your people and you rock with them.
So would you say she is the Molly Ringwald of our
Don't
generation?
get me fucking started.
Of you
Nah,
hosts.
Molly Ringwald, God bless her soul, she's fine.
Yeah. Great.
I don't know what that means.
Now we have that in writing. That's good.
Yeah, she's fine. I think I'm just a little tired. It's okay.
That's
So
fair.
what did I say? Kinds of Kindness. Saw Maxine. I will say I think that might be the best horror trilogy.
That's like the
original horror
Pearl,
trilogy. That's Pearl, X,
yeah.
Pearl, and well, I guess in order, Pearl, X, Maxine.
Okay.
Ty West, I think he's a genius. As far as like new horror goes, it's probably one of the better.
Yeah, I love X and Pearl. I like the X better than Pearl, but I really want to see Maxine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet though.
And so it's three movies. They're all completely different styles. They have the same main actress. That's his muse, I guess, now.
A lot of music.
A lot of muses. Yeah.
Whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying. You got to smoke a carton. You got to smoke a carton. But I don't know. So it's excellent. Three completely different styles. Like they're not even like linked. Like they're linked by the story, but style is completely different, which I think is cool. And it's just original. Everyone feels fresh. You could watch 1, 2, 3. You could really watch or not watch any of them. I don't really care.
Can you watch them out of order? Like, does that matter?
Yeah, you can watch them out of order.
Oh, that's pretty.
Like
solid.
they got
I like
released
when
out of
they-
order. Like X is the middle piece that came first.
Oh, okay.
X was the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
And
the
then
first
Pearl
one,
was the
Pearl
first
came out,
one.
and then the last.
Yeah, there are
Oh, okay.
three like completely. If you didn't see the other two, you're fine. But they all connect, which
Okay.
is nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like
Ty West is a madman. I that dude's fucking man. And then my buddy over here, Jack, and I, we saw Longlegs
Yes, we did.
together,
Yeah.
and that movie's just wild. That's funny because it's getting that and Maxine, I think, are getting the same reaction, not same reaction, because
Is it
they
like
are
bad
like
reaction?
indie movies, but being promoted as mainstream, kind of like the movie that we're gonna do on this episode,
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Fight Club, if you hadn't read.
One of those movies that, smaller director gets a big shot and fucking kills it. But anyways, so they're getting judged with like these fucking top shelf horror, quote unquote top shelf big box horror movies.
We were saying
And
people
are
were
just
like,
going
oh,
in
this
and
is like Hannibal or Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
You're
like Longlegs is
whoa.
compared to Silence of the
Like,
Lambs.
The
There's
next closest thing to Silence of the Lambs.
the
how do you
marketing
live up
is
to
just
that?
like
Yeah, like,
That's
I
insane.
understand that
They're like, oh, thanks.
the studio has to do like marketing and they want the most amount of people to see their movie because that's what they care about. I get it, but at the same time, it's like
It's like you're putting a target on them.
or like setting
right
these
out of
people
the
up.
gate,
Like
yeah.
we saw both these movies, which are not normal movies with the most normal crowds of all time, and you can just tell. Like some people were into it, other people were just like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
Like
What did I
Maxine, there was
waste my
times
money
where I
on?
looked
Yeah.
over and I'm just like, "There's like kids, like teenagers." I know they're thinking like this is like Scream, and I'm like, I guess it kind of, not really. It's not. They're not popcorn flicks though.
Dude, my
Yeah.
buddy at
They're not
work
just like, oh, here's a
saw-
bad story and then some slashers. It's like they're well put together movies.
My buddy Chris at work.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah, shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
He saw Longlegs, and there was like a 10-year-old girl with her dad next to him.
Yeah, when we saw Talk to Me, there was a
And
girl.
He was like looking like, this is not the movie for that.
Yeah,
Like,
what
I've
the
been
hell was wrong with
bamboozled.
you?
Yeah.
When we saw Talk to Me last year, we were next to a family. A girl was playing her Game Boy next to Olivia.
That's a
And
wild.
Olivia
play.
looked out and said, "You know what? Good for her, because this is
Yeah.
horrifying."
Yeah,
Like,
you said
Alicia-
that movie was really scary.
Yeah, we had a family behind us of kids and a family next to us. I don't understand what's up with this. I wasn't allowed to do that shit. I had to like
No, I
finagle
was-
my way to see
yeah.
Scream 3 in '99. You know what I'm saying?
What else did you watch?
So I did watch the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. I thought it was
Axel.
Axel F.
Axel F. Yeah.
I thought it was decent for what it is. I mean, nothing will touch the first one,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Somebody just told me that was really good. But
It was like decent. I don't know. Like it was a Netflix movie. It's fine. They're making another one. We gotta stop. We gotta like put a ban on
Yeah.
IP reuse.
I feel like Netflix and Hulu have been buying up like basically like the rights to these old like movies franchise, and it's like we don't need another one.
All right.
What
So
else? Give us 2 more.
my boy Jack and I watched Alien 3.
Yes.
We did a virtual
2
call
movies
the other
together
night.
this week.
Yeah, and we watched Alien 3, which also shares a director. It's his first movie, David Fincher, with Fight Club.
Yeah.
And then I also watched The Game yesterday, which is
Oh.
another excellent David Fincher. That movie lulls me in every time, and it fucking somehow gets me every time. I don't understand. I've seen it more than once, and it's still
Michael
Still gets
Douglas,
you.
the
Sean
fucking
Penn.
twist still gets me every time. I'm like, oh no, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, and then you still say oh no, and you don't know why you're saying oh no,
Yeah.
but it fucking gets you every time.
Well, that's the one sandwiched between Seven
Yeah.
and Fight Club.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you wanted to talk about
Yeah.
the director's all of his movies too. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fincher, that's a fucking. I don't even know how to describe him.
He's awesome.
Just a
he's
little,
a dynasty.
He's so dark.
He just does his own shit, and
That-
then his like
That
filmography
movie
is
he
full
just
of.
came out this year, The Killer, is
That was
amazing.
really good.
With Michael Fassbender. Did you see that?
No, I didn't
That
see
was
that
awesome. Yeah, we talked
That's
about
on
that. Was like
Netflix. That's really good.
I think
Yeah.
you put it as your top 10. I think I might have too. I don't remember now. Top 10 for the year. I think I don't remember. It was
I
at
would
least
probably,
close for
yeah,
me.
It was really good.
And then I also watched probably one of the best Godzilla movies and what is regarded as the worst Godzilla movie back to back. I don't know why I did it, but Shin Godzilla, the Japanese kind of reintroduction Godzilla from like 17, I think. It's the one that's like in the same realm as Godzilla -1. And then I watched Godzilla 98, which I
Nice.
loved as a kid.
Did it hold up?
I have a steelbook of it over there because the steelbook looks so cool, and I'm like, oh, dude, I love this movie. So Olivia got it for my birthday. I will say it's from the reviews of this is not a Godzilla movie. I didn't understand it until I rewatched it, and I was like, oh yeah, this isn't a Godzilla movie at all. There is a monster that resembles a Godzilla in it,
Yeah.
but this is pretty much
Just like about the people.
it's almost like they just took Jurassic Park, like the best parts of Jurassic Park, and we're like, cool, we're going to do that part, we're going to do that part, and we're going to do that part. We're going to put it in New York City. So basically they took Jurassic Park and we're back, it's a dinosaur story, and then slightly molded into a reptile.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's always a reptile, but like a lizard instead of a prehistoric
thing.
dinosaur, and then that's Godzilla 98. I still like it, but I understand the mass hatred for it now. I did not understand as a kid because I was like, oh, this is cool. We got freaking P. Diddy on the... Oh, can I say that? I don't think I can say that anymore. We have Jimmy Page on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty.
And we got the Wallflowers with the David Bowie cover on the sound. I thought that was unbelievable. And then I watched it again. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Matthew Broderick basically plays Sam Neill. And what's her name plays Laura Dern. And yeah, it's kind of like Jurassic Park rehashed. Kind of.
I'd be curious to see what writers worked on that, and it was like,
it's what's his name, Roland Emmerich.
I was just doing a bit like.
Oh.
He also wrote Jurassic Park,
But he did other good movies.
like,
Like, fuck you, Keith. This is not Jurassic Park.
He did really good. He did The Patriot and Independence Day.
Yeah. He's done a lot.
And Stargate,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Universal Soldier. I watched all those movies, so I was like, oh, I'll just watch Godzilla too. I watched that, and I was like, whoa.
you're like, wow, this is bad.
But now I want to watch Godzilla -1 again because I'm in the fucking Godzilla mode. But I will say this: if you haven't seen Shin Godzilla and you want to get into Godzilla, but you're like, I don't know where to go, Shin Godzilla fucking crushes. It gives you like a whole backstory, awesome acting. It's in Japanese, and you get the transformations of Godzilla.
That's
and it's pretty
cool.
fucking
Nice.
cool.
As like I mean, they do have so many of them. I feel like it's
I know, but
tough
like
to,
that's what I'm saying is like you see 36,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, where do I start? Do I start at 1954? Do I start at 1984? Do I start with 98? Don't do that.
as just described.
That's
do
like
not do that.
if you like that movie, you're gonna like that movie. It's hard to recommend that as Godzilla, but Shin Godzilla, I think you should watch. Anyways, that's more than my time.
Keith will like to yield the rest of his time.
Yeah.
To Jack. Yeah, Jack. What did you watch?
All right, so I finally watched Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage.
I love that movie.
His Oscar win, and it's awesome. It's really good. He plays a great drunk, I guess you could say. Like,
Well, I would
he's
say
just,
alcoholic.
Alcoholic. He's just like, he's crazy. That's
Sorry,
a watch
I think I
for
screamed
sure.
that.
I like that.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
On the recommendation of my buddy Bones, I watched Night of the Comet. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but it's like
Sounds like a Disney Channel movie.
it's almost like
No.
it's It kind of feels
In
like
title
that.
only.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like two chicks like have to like the world kind of like ends and they have to like fight their way through. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. It was good like 80s like horror movie.
He recommended that and not Night of the Creeps. Are you sure? Because he always talks about Night of the Creeps.
No,
Sean said the same
me
thing.
and him watched. Me and Bones watch Night of the Creeps all the time. That's like
Okay.
okay.
That's what I thought.
But Night of the Comet,
okay,
he watched and he was like, "You got to watch it."
Okay.
Then yeah, Keith said Alien 3 we watched, Long Legs. Then I watched Inside Out, which I had seen when it first came out, and then I took Aaron to see Inside Out 2 last night, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
They both watches. They're good cartoon movies.
I need to see that second one.
Yeah, it's good.
My brother saw it. So
And then we also, the last thing, we started watching, we have one episode left of The Bear season 3.
that just got nominated for like a ton of stuff, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like, a
and
bunch of
like,
Emmys.
it's weird because like the first 2 seasons are amazing. This one, it's good, but like, I feel like they're going way too artsy.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like, just like some of the episodes, you're like some of it's like half the episode is like there's no substance. It's just like them cooking or pictures or something. It's like, dude, like go back to what was.
Yeah, start
Like,
screaming.
I mean,
at
it's
each other.
good still. I like it, but I mean, I like the first 2 episodes, first 2 seasons a lot more than this one, and I've heard that a lot, like around.
Hopefully,
but
you get your
it's a
shit
good
together,
show,
the
though.
bear. No.
And there's like a lot of good like guest cameos this season, like out of nowhere. You're like, holy shit! that
Yeah,
guy.
it's pretty solid.
So, but that's all I watched
Nice.
in our time away.
I looked how you said that. I don't know. Cool. Yeah. So I guess we already said the movie that we're watching. We're going to be doing Fight Club. It's 1999. What was the name of the director? I already forgot.
David Fincher.
David Fincher. So you guys, before we started recording, we're talking about some of his other movies. Do you guys want to run through just to like give people context of like how fucking insane this guy is,
yeah.
like in a good way?
Well, he's one of my favorite directors. So like, he started as like Keith was talking about. He started like doing music videos, like, and he did that for years before like he directed.
Started doing movies.
He finally did Alien 3, and I think he said he didn't like that movie probably because he didn't have any control over it. Like,
Yeah, he said that. I read that they had a trailer before he even shot one scene. They had a trailer and all everything ready.
That's stupid.
yeah,
She's like-
because
They just need someone's name to put on it.
because
pretty
like
lame.
that's the kind of movie you take over as like a young director, starring director, and like
Yeah, they're not going to give you the
they're
first
gonna
in
be
a
like, oh
franchise.
yeah, buddy, do
Yeah.
this or whatever. But then, so after he did that, Alien 3, he did 7, which is
Incredible.
yeah,
Keith has all of
Keith
these.
has it right here.
He's got all the.
Oh yeah, I had Alien 3 too.
That's a
Yeah.
Brad. That's also a Brad
Wow.
Pitt.
I can see the fucking DVDs, bro.
He did The Game.
That's a good.
That's
one.
Michael Douglas, Sean Penn. Then he did Fight Club, which we're doing now. Pitt and Norton. Then he did Panic Room. I thought that was pretty
That
good.
was good. I haven't seen that since it was probably 2002.
I think it's one of his weaker ones, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Then he took a while off from 02 to 07, and then he did Zodiac,
that movie's
Yeah,
that movie
that's
scared
awesome.
the
which
shit
is
out of
awesome.
Who's
yeah.
who's the main guy in that?
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
me.
Yeah,
It's Robert Downey Jr. and Ruffalo.
yeah. It was
That-
Mark Ruffalo. That's
Yeah.
That
was
movie
who I was
scared the
picturing,
dog
yeah.
shit. I remember after that movie was over, my heart was racing, and I was like,
He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
we're
movie's
sleeping with the
crazy.
it's
lights
like
on.
yeah, someone's getting murdered tonight.
Then then he did The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, so he did another Brad Pitt. Social Network, which is
Oh, that
really
movie,
good.
yeah, that was good. I haven't seen that in a while.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that was
Sheesh.
good. He does a lot of dark movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
If
can't
you've seen
tell.
Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, you can attest to that.
Gone Girl, he did.
Okay.
That one I really
Yeah.
like.
Then he took time off, 6 years off, because he did that show Mindhunter,
Mhm.
which is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
And
that was like a cable show, right?
Well, it was Netflix, I think.
I think yeah.
But I want them to come back, but they keep saying maybe, maybe not. But
Yeah.
that was cool because that was all about like actual serial killers.
Yeah,
and
that was like
it
real
was like
story,
how
yeah,
the
yeah.
FBI started, basically.
That's pretty cool.
So that was a really good show. Then he did Mank.
Did you see that?
I did. It was not.
That's the only one I haven't seen yet.
Like Oldman was really good. Gary Oldman was great.
Yeah.
But it's not very good.
That's
Me and my buddy
unfortunate.
Sean watched that, and halfway through, Sean looks at me and goes, "The fuck is this about?"
Oh yeah, okay. It's about the making of Citizen Kane. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. And then this year, his newest movie is The Killer with Michael Fassbender, which came out on Netflix, and I thought that was
really
awesome.
you said that one was really
Yeah, like that.
cool.
Like I was like happy he went from that Mank to that because
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
turned
all
it
right.
around.
I was like, all right, this is more
He
Fincher.
still got it,
like-
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good. But yeah, so he's done like a ton of good movies.
Yeah.
And then he also has that Love, Death, and Robots. He's the producer of that. The
Oh,
executive
yeah.
producer, and I think he directed one. Did you ever see that show?
No. What was that on?
Oh, dog! It's on. I think that's Netflix as well. Dude, it's just sci-fi shorts.
Oh,
but
that's
they're
pretty cool.
all different formats.
All
Like they're
I'll
all
have to look into
they're
that.
all like I think they're all animated. But
Okay.
like the one that I saw, I could not believe it was animation.
Yeah.
It's so real.
That's
but like
pretty
they're
cool.
all different styles. They're
That's
all different
awesome.
directors. It's kind of like Masters of Horror,
Yeah.
where every director gets their own
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
It's
I
completely
like that.
different, but it's one series and one producer
Yeah.
or the executive producer.
Yeah.
But like,
That's pretty sick.
yeah, it was
I gotta
really,
check that out.
really cool.
And he also directed 2 episodes of House of Cards too.
So
yeah,
he's been
He's done a lot.
so he's a promising up and comer is what we're getting
Yeah.
at here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
he's
think he's gonna get it soon.
I think he's gonna catch a big break soon. So yeah, but this one, Fight Club, like I said, 1999.
Mm-hmm.
This had a budget of this estimate that I'm seeing is between 63 and 65 million, and the box office was 101.2 million, which I don't really know how accurate these numbers are, but it gives you a general idea of like how well it performed.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it was a pretty big deal. I mean, I think
Yeah.
just talking about the movies that Pitt and Norton were in at the time, and also
Yeah.
Meatloaf. I mean, like how could you not want
Right,
to see
yeah.
him?
Yeah,
But
because Pitt was pretty established by now.
yeah, this is like
And Norton
a little
was
later in his career.
getting
Not later, but
I mean, Norton had 2 Oscar noms already
yeah.
before he did this.
So he's
movie.
doing fine.
Yeah. Which
Well,
is
do you want
crazy.
to? Do one of you guys want to go through the cast of who was in?
Go ahead, Jackie
Sure.
or Jack, Sir Jack Winter.
All right, so we got top billing was Brad Pitt over Edward Norton, which makes sense, but Tyler Durden. Edward Norton's just named the narrator. You never know
Yeah.
what his name is. Meatloaf plays Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Uh,
Oh, you said Brad Pitt plays Tyler Durden, right?
yeah, Brad Pitt
yeah.
plays Tyler Durden. Zach Grenier plays the
Oh, he
his
plays
boss.
his boss.
He's the boss,
Yeah,
yeah.
his boss. And then there's a bunch of other people.
You can't forget.
You got
You got.
yeah,
You
you
got.
already
Lena
talked-
Bonham.
You already talked about the other guy. You didn't say him though. You talked about him before the show.
What,
He's got
Leto?
blonde hair.
Boy.
Yeah, Leto. I know.
Yeah.
I was going down the list. but-
Oh. I'm sitting here. I'm like, where's
No, I wasn't done yet.
Keith and I were like, Jack's losing
I
it.
was like, he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was. Yeah.
Oh, you're
Jared
going in Billy
Leto,
order. My bad. I'm sorry, dude.
But
Just-
Oh, I did not pick up on that. My bad. Jeez. That's my
But-
bad.
I mean, Helena Bonham Carter is awesome.
Yeah.
That's who I was waiting
As
for.
Marla Singer,
Marla Singer.
Yeah.
which is
She
And I
was
think-
in
I
like
think
all
she
the
was
Harry
married
Potter
to-
movies too.
Yeah, Bella,
Just
it was
yeah.
Bellatrix, right?
Bellatrix, yeah.
I think she was married to Tim Burton.
She was, right? And then
Yeah.
she ended up being in...
What a cool couple they must have been.
Dude,
though.
I
like
will
they
say
must
this.
have thrown some cool house parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
2001 to 2000... Oh, she was married to him for 14 years.
Holt McCallany, he was in Mindhunter, one of the detectives. He plays the mechanic.
Mm.
And then, Jared Leto plays Angel Face.
yeah.
Oh, my bad. I totally trashed your thing, man. That's my bad, dude.
No,
We're just gonna start from the
you're
beginning.
good. But there's just like a bunch of people in it. But
Yeah.
but that's like the main people, basically.
Yeah. I mean, because they do like they grow as the movie goes on. There's so many characters that are like
yeah, like
partially
they're just thrown in
introduced,
there,
yeah.
and So, but that's pretty much the top billing.
that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any notes about like the production and stuff like that before we hop into our quick little plot speed read?
So when you're talking about that budget, I read that opening sequence, the brain sequence,
Yeah.
it's all animated. I figured it was probably pretty easy. They actually map out the entire brain. I forget how.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my
they map out the
God.
entire brain. That cost them $800,000 to do.
I feel like
guess
I would
they
have
had
been
some
like,
model. They had some like super detailed modeling of the brain,
yeah.
and like showed going all the way through the brain.
You know what's really funny though?
$800,000. That's why
most people are probably like, yeah, it's a fucking brain.
it looks
you
like
could've
every
made
other.
it up and, like
Like
no
it
one
looks
would've
really
known.
cool, but
Yeah,
I guess there's a reason it looks so cool because it's actually real. I don't know.
It's real. I think it's
I'm
cool.
no
though. I mean,
fucking
it's like,
brain surgeon.
yeah, but what if it was a fake? If someone just like blurred out, I don't know, whatever, and put up there, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a brain. Like I don't know. I'm looking
yeah,
at you,
left
and
brain's
yeah,
like
it
that's
is.
not
Yeah,
that
it checks
medulla
out.
oblongata, but then it comes out as
the medulla. Yeah,
comes out the top of his head or whatever.
that is pretty cool. though.
I have that, and then the Dust Brothers got contracted to do this movie. This is their first soundtrack, but this soundtrack is fucking awesome. It's not really, it's
Yeah.
a score, I guess, but it's like electronic, 90s electronic soundtrack.
Yeah, that is
It's
pretty
fucking
cool.
I love it. This
Well-
and The Matrix come out the same year, and Matrix, I think they have two like the best, like memorable 90s like
Yeah.
score soundtracks.
Oh, they
Whoa.
produced Paul's Boutique, the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, they
album.
do a lot. They
that's
do a lot
pretty
of
sick.
hip-hop
Yeah,
stuff.
That's
Well,
pretty sick.
apparently,
oh, go ahead.
speaking of the music, Fincher actually sought out Radiohead to provide the music, and
I could have definitely seen that. Yeah.
but Tom York was suffering from exhaustion following the promotion of OK Computer.
Damn. That would have been a perfect album to
Yeah.
pair with this movie, though. I thought that would have worked really
Yeah,
well.
so he was like, "Nah, I can't like get into that right now."
He's like, I can't be part of your student film. I'm sorry.
Also, also money wise, I saw Brad Pitt was paid $17.5 million for this role.
Okay, that's a big chunk out of that.
Yeah, that's most of
65.
the budget.
And Edward Norton was only paid 2.5, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
But
Like-
if Pitt's the top billing,
I mean,
like if
Pitt's
he
top
was, if
billing.
his
Pitt-
name was,
He was
out
more
there.
established for sure. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
and
but-
he was a household name at that
I
point.
didn't see those. I didn't see the numbers being that different.
I didn't either.
The
But
Dust Brothers also did "Mbop" by Hanson. So I mean, what do you gotta say about that?
So what else you got? No, that's pretty cool though. Any
Yeah.
other? Do you get any other notes before we dive in?
No, I'll come back to it because it won't really make sense until. All right, I'll just say it. That scene where they're in the bedroom, the Whudda scene, when they're like, doing the thing.
Yeah.
They use the same camera, the bullet camera from The Matrix, to film that scene.
Really?
Where it's like it's like going around them 360.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They use the same technology, the same camera.
Yeah, that's
When I
pretty
found
nuts.
that out, I was like, bro, that's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like what?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, dude, we're gonna do something different with this scene right here. I know you guys are used to the Tom Cruise, Top Gun, where you sit at dark, like, bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this 360, and
It's gonna be only
It's gonna be
cameras.
like
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
Neo against all the agents and stuff, but we're gonna have it.
But instead of fighting the agents, they're
They're
doing
gonna be-
something else.
We're gonna be doing, in the jungle tonight.
It's just this one dude on a camera, like, you don't have to keep explaining it to us. He's like, no,
No,
you
he's like-
I don't think you understand.
This is not a one take thing.
Me and my lady, we've been doing some research.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Fincher is never a one-take guy. That's what people say that have worked with Fincher.
Oh, is he like multiple
That is
takes?
like, it's hard because he does like, it has to be perfect.
Yeah,
And like,
that's why his
there's
movies
like
have
times
never
he'll do
worked
like
out. I'm
80,
just kidding.
he'll do like 80 fucking takes.
That's long. That's very long.
And people will be like, dude, I can't do that.
I'm ordering a burger at a drive-thru. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
like-
fine.
Like, so people, I guess Pitt doesn't mind because he's worked with him so many times.
Yeah.
But at the end of this, we're gonna put up. We reached out to Brad Pitt and got his his regiment for this movie, so we're gonna post that afterwards too, so
Yeah.
everyone can like.
Yes, everyone gets shredded.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through the plot.
All right.
So sticking to our new format here, I'm just going to blow through the plot really quick just so we can dive in and start talking about this. If you guys are liking the episodes and the movies and stuff, if you could hit a little subscribe-a-rooski and share us around, give us a like, leave some comments, all that good stuff, really goes a long way to help us keep doing what we love. Anyway, into the plot. This plot speed read is sponsored by Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, established 1885.
We got a
courtesy of-
refrigerator full of those. There's actually only 6 left, but if you act fast, you can get one.
It's a tasty drink. It's a tasty
I
drink.
know,
It's
it
a tasty
fucking
beverage.
slams, and you don't get that. So I switched over to non-zero sugar.
Oh, we're going into Dr. Pepper now?
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
get all that flavor with no syrup taste. Like that syrup that's stuck in your throat, like when you're drinking milk,
Yeah.
which also almost doesn't exist anymore because you know what's
Yeah.
happening with milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It is. It
and
is
it's
really
no
good.
sugar, so you can do it without
No
guilt.
sugar added. And guys, summer's right around the corner, so might as well grab yourself a case of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
And then you can drink it at the beach too. I heard.
We are not sponsored, and there's an impending lawsuit, I bet.
No, it's fine.
Anyway, speed read of Fight Club. So, the unnamed narrator who struggles with insomnia and dissatisfaction with his job and lifestyle finds temporary solace in support groups. As his insomnia worsens, he discovers that expressions of emotional vulnerability help him sleep, leading him to join multiple groups for people facing emotionally distressing problems, despite his expressions being fraudulent. His efforts are thwarted when Marla Singer, another imposter, joins the same groups. The narrator is unable to present his fabricated struggles as genuine or divert his attention from her presence as an imposter, causing his sleeplessness to return. He arranges for them to attend different sessions to regain his ability to sleep and under certain circumstances, to exchange contact information, to which she reluctantly agrees. So out of the gate, you're introduced to Edward Norton, who is described as the narrator, and he is essentially just scamming his way through various support groups. You're meeting different people in his life. He's using different aliases all throughout, which I meant to write down some of the aliases that he wrote, just as like a little note, Jack. I don't know if that was one of your phone facts at the end, but I digress.
Yeah.
So, on a return flight from work later on in some of the next scenes, the narrator meets a soap salesman named Tyler Durden. After an explosion destroys the narrator's apartment, he moves into Tyler's decrepit house. They become friends, and he starts undergoing Fight Club. It starts an underground fight club in a bar basement. So, essentially, this scene, when he is asked if he would like to move in with him, Tyler's one, I guess, what would you call it? His one term was, you can stay here, but we have to get in a fist fight. And he said, you learn a lot about yourself by getting in a fist fight, which I just think is a really great line. So Tyler also later in the movie saves Maria from an overdose and then initiating a sexual relationship between both of them.
Shot on the Matrix cam. Go ahead.
Shot on the Matrix cam, while the narrator remains cold to her. The narrator eventually quits his job, blackmails his boss for funds to grow Fight Club, attracts new members, including his support group friend Bob, who you would meet, played by the wonderful, talented Meatloaf, R.I.P. to the real one. Tyler morphs the club into Project Mayhem, committing acts of vandalism intended to disrupt the social order. This is a callback to the beginning of the movie when they first met, and they talk about how consumerism has been destroying this country and that it's fine that someone needs to take a stand and basically try and end it. Feeling sidelined, the narrator confronts Tyler, who admits to orchestrating the explosion in the narrator's apartment, and then goes mysteriously missing. The police kill Bob during a mission, after which the narrator goes looking for Tyler. Discovering the project's nationwide reach and being called Tyler Durden by Maria and other people, he realizes in a bizarre twist that he and Tyler are the same person, and he is in fact suffering from a split personality. Learning that Project Mayhem plans to erase debt records by blowing up the headquarters of several credit card companies, the narrator unsuccessfully warns Maria and goes to the police, some of whom are also Project Mayhem members. Funny part in this scene is when he's trying to warn him. The first rule of Fight Club was do not talk about Fight Club. So he runs into a lot of problems while he's trying to explain, do you know Tyler from Fight Club? And everyone's basically like, right, we're not supposed to talk about it, don't worry. So he then attempts to disarm the explosives himself, but Tyler attacks him. Accepting that he is Tyler, he shoots himself in the mouth, quote-unquote killing Tyler, while the bullet non-fatally passes through the narrator's cheek. Maria arrives to meet him. The two hold hands, and he is unable to essentially detonate or defuse the bombs, and they hold hands as they watch the targeted buildings collapse. And that is the end of Fight Club.
All right, cool, guys. It was good seeing you guys this week.
Yeah. And that's our time.
So, yeah, like, subscribe, throw the thumbs up. Remember, you see our wacky faces on there.
Remember, Dr. Pepper Zero.
Dr. Pepper Zero.
Yeah, so how was that? Did I miss? What you want to dive into some of these scenes,
you hit
or
the
what?
plot, but we got.
Yeah, you hit the plot. For
I think we got stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah.
I will say this: the way this ends. I mean, I know how it ends every time, but
yeah,
that part where they're holding hands.
Yeah.
And
we have the quote. You texted us the quote.
I'm gonna completely fuck it up.
Okay.
I will get this wrong. I get it wrong every time because I don't write things down. He says, "You met me at a strange part of my life," right? Is what he says?
I don't know.
Did I deliver it just like
No,
it?
you actually did. Yeah.
But yeah,
should we all hold hands?
That hits
so
me so hard every time.
As like the buildings are
And
collapsing.
as he looks at her, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he just found his partner for the end of the world. You know what I mean?
It's
Through
incredible.
all this,
Yeah. She's still like, yeah, you know.
Through trying to be, quote unquote, become a man or whatever the fucking the world wants you to be.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But yeah, so I will say this: the way this ends is insane, but the way that the book ends and the way that for some reason, the Chinese DVD version of this or film version of this also ends this way.
Oh, there's a different ending.
Well,
or did they like have their own adaptation of the same?
So
book
when he
or something?
shoots, like obviously, Tyler Durden was himself the whole time.
Yeah,
he was dead the whole time. Whatever. He shoots himself in the face. He doesn't kill himself, and then he wakes up in a mental institution. So that's how the book goes, and that's also how the Chinese version of the movie goes. It just supposedly it just shows up and just says that at the end as he's sitting there with the hole in his face.
Yeah,
it's like he's
like he was admitted to. He wakes up the next day or something.
I also have a fan theory about that I'll bring up.
Oh,
please do.
In my phone facts.
Bring it up. Bring it up whenever you want, dude. Phone facts go wherever you want now.
Yeah, we got phones in our pockets now, Jack. They go wherever we go.
But I will say, Meatloaf. Whenever I hear the word Meatloaf, it kills me because one time me and Olivia were watching Rocky Horror Picture.
Yeah,
and he's in that, and for some reason she loves that movie. She's singing all the songs, and then she goes, "Yeah, that meatball guy killed it." Rest in peace to a legend, but dude, she said, "Yeah, that meatball guy's got some pipes or something like that." I fucking literally can never not picture him as that meatball guy, and it fucking lights me up every time.
He also played Jack Black's dad in Tenacious D: Pick a Destiny too. Wow. This is a little fun fact.
That's gonna be an episode coming to you soon.
Yeah.
So that popular fan theory that I was just talking
let's get
about,
into it.
I'll just pop it out. So basically, people think that Fight Club did not exist.
Damn.
The militia and Project Mayhem did not exist. The buildings did not blow up. Those are all part of Norton's delusions. Norton's character dies at the end.
And he just shoots himself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
yeah,
that's what people think. I don't think that, but that's like a fan theory.
Yeah.
But the coolest part about this whole movie is that it doesn't matter what actually happens. That's what's cool about it. It's like you watch the movie and it's just like so good. It doesn't matter. Like I don't care what the reality is.
Yeah.
Like you find what you relate to and what you don't relate to, and then that's it.
Well, I love like the opening of this movie is sick.
Yeah.
Like when he's like. He just had, like, you just see Edward Norton with his mouth open and gun in it. And you just see, like, Brad Pitt's hand there. And he's like, and he has a great line. Because he has such a, like, dull voice. Like, it's like when he's talking, Edward Norton. It's it's like a droning voice. Like, and he's just like, with a gun barrel between your teeth, you only speak in vowels.
And you're like, wow, we're really starting this off.
Damn, strong. Dude, that's like a sick line. Like, and he's like, oh.
I think I really enjoyed like this. I mean, like you said in the opening scene, I feel like there's a lot of like chaotic, kind of like disjointed scenes in this movie. Like if you think about it, like going through, even just reading through the plot, like I think Fight Club, I think obviously, he wants to move in with this guy and he's like, we're going to beat the shit out of each other first. And he's like, this is kind of weird. They get into the fight. And then you see like this compilation of like, they just keep doing it. And then like slowly other people are like, hey, it's like other businessmen in ties are like, can I join in? And you're like, what is the, but like the actual club, Fight Club, I feel like is a very small part of what this movie is. Like you don't even see Brad Pitt's character until until like a half hour in.
Well, remember when he tells him to hit me as hard as you can?
Yeah. And
outside the bar, and he's like, this is crazy. What do you mean? And he's like, come on. I've never been in a fight. Like, come on, let's go. And he's like, that's a good thing. He's like, no, it's not. How can you know about yourself if you get in a fight? He's like, hit me. And he hits him. He's like, hit me in the fucking ear.
Yeah, he's like he throws the funniest punch.
I guess Fincher didn't tell him that he's going to do that, but he told him he actually hit him. Like see that reaction is because he actually punched him in the ear.
And you can see Norton laughing because he's like, fuck, motherfucker.
Because he actually hit, like he actually that wasn't like a stage thing. He actually hits him in the ear.
He slugs him.
Which I don't know if you guys have you guys ever been punched in the ear?
No, I've never been in a fight. Have
you
ever been in a fight? You've been in a fight. Come on.
Nah, not really.
Jack, have you ever been in a fight?
Just like when I was younger, but nothing like
mostly
crazy, like stupid, like recess.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna fight. It was like a dumbass thing.
I've just had like controlled stuff like martial arts, like Muay Thai and stuff. But yeah, getting hit directly in the ear fucking sucks. I still have my right ear is still I just took a hook one time, and it's never been. My equilibrium all shifted.
Really?
Probably have some eardrum damage, but it's never been like when I blow
Quite right.
my nose. I still have all this weird pressure on that side.
Shit.
Yeah, that's
Right,
wild.
we can mess you like it in the ear sucks so bad.
So that was probably like a not chill thing to
I'm
just
sure it's
spring on
fine.
Brad Pitt.
It just sucks. It probably sucks worse than the movie makes it look.
Yeah.
He's probably like, dude, are you fucking kidding? And it's Fincher, so he had to actually do it 11 times.
Yeah, he's like, oh, do it
He's
again.
like, all right.
But yeah, it's crazy like how he has like he has insomnia like through the movie. Like
Yeah. He like doesn't.
he's like with insomnia, nothing's real. He says he's like, he doesn't know like what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's like, but then he starts going to those support groups. Because I like how he's like, reverse. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah,
and by the time you're like even 15 minutes in the movie, like obviously if you've seen the movie, you know what's happened at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that is completely out of your mind. Like that whole sequence of the gun in the mouth.
Yeah. You forget about it.
Like that's the cold open, but like at the same time, like you are invested. Like you are in.
Yeah.
You are in his life.
Because you're like, this guy's just going to these support groups, and like, you know, like then he's getting sleep because he's like letting everything out at these support groups.
Yeah, that first time that he cries.
Oh, and in Meatloaf's.
And he goes home. He's like, babies don't sleep this good.
Well, I think I read that Fincher described Fight Club. He describes it as a coming of age movie for people in their 30s.
Dude,
for like dudes in their 30s. There was people like live there. I mean, obviously it's a little bit dramatic.
You'll get there one day.
Meatloaf thing.
You'll be there one day soon.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you, in a couple of years when you rewatch this movie again, you're gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna. Because I will tell you this. I watched it twice in the last year.
Okay.
This movie hit me completely differently than I've seen this movie like. I don't know, 12, 13, probably more times.
So you're just assumed that I'm like chill going to work every day?
No. I don't think it doesn't hit you a certain way now. I'm telling you, when you get... I'm not insulting you.
Yeah.
I'm saying...
No, go ahead.
I'm saying when you're in...
Never been in a fight, you know, let's see. No, I'm just kidding. I'm taking this in a weird direction.
I know, but I'm just saying, like...
Wearing glass.
This is, just for the record, this is not me trying to sun Nick at all in any way, because I would never do that, because it doesn't make any sense. But I'm just saying this movie is... That is true.
It hits different.
And it fucking hit me completely differently this year. I watched it twice this year.
Yeah.
And it just hit me like in a totally different way. Didn't make me feel great.
Yeah.
Because it's like a reflection.
Do you agree with it?
The reflection is too real.
Yeah. Well, it's so much like when we watched this first time, like in high school or like middle school, you're like, oh, this is great. But like it does hit different when you're like actually like an adult and you're like living in the fucking world. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this is very relatable.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's relatable in the way. I think there's one of the lines. It was like, you get so I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but it was basically like, you get so numb, like living in the world, like living. Yeah. Like all these people were just like it was an interview. I'm sorry, where he basically described it as like, people are so numb, and like there's a reason why Fight Club, it's like this whole movie is just like metaphor after metaphor is really what it is. It's like people are just looking for any reason to like to feel something if you're like so caught up in a routine and stuff like that, which I do think is like, I don't know, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I also think it's funny with like all the different support groups and stuff. Yeah. Like, and how they like start like trading them off. Like, well, she's like, well, I only have 3, you have 4. Like, and they're like trying to go through.
I like the one it was like for lung cancer or something. She's like, well, I can't smoke in that one.
She's like, my smoking doesn't go over in that one. And then I like when he first confronts her and goes, why are you doing this? Like, why are you here? You're an imposter. And she goes, it's cheaper than a movie and there's free coffee.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
And then for the testicular cancer one, he says like, why? I forget. He says something like, why do you deserve to be here more than me? And she's like, well, you still have your nuts, or I don't have my nuts, or something like that.
Oh yeah,
something wild,
something crazy where it's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's. Yeah, I like the even just like that whole opening sequence and stuff too. I like that he's like, how dare you enter in these sacred meetings? And it's like, dude, you've been using fake names.
Same
like,
fucking
thing.
Like,
he's like, I'll expose you. She's like, I'll expose you. He's like, shit.
Well, did you ever see Harold and Maude? You ever see that movie?
No.
It's like almost like the opposite of Wedding Crashers. Instead of they're obsessed with death, so it's like a kid. And
I've heard of it.
They meet they find out that they're both doing the fucking Wedding Crashers, but at funerals.
Yeah, so
it's like a
they're
similar,
all
very
Will
similar
Ferrell
thing.
In Wedding
like,
Crashers.
What the fuck are you like? Why are you at this? And they're like, no, this is my thing.
Yeah,
and it's like a very similar thing. Like, I guess more people do this thing, show up where they aren't supposed to be, and get pissed off at other people that are also not supposed to be there. I think it's more common than
I think it's
I
like
thought it was.
I think there's like a whole, I mean, the type of person that would like, I know this is like an actual thing. People go to these and like pretend to be, just to get like attention essentially. Like, I think it is like a very real thing, which is like super shitty if you think about it. But I like that, so in the beginning of the movie, he's basically, when you describe that he's like going through his whole, like, I have insomnia and stuff. He's like, can't you just like prescribe me sleep meds? And he's like, how about you go to this testicular cancer support group and see what real like sadness is?
He's like, you want to see real pain?
And you're like, dude, why would a doctor be like, I'm not helping you? Go see these like cancer like,
real
people
pain?
in remission. Like,
show up on Tuesday nights.
Yeah,
and the doctor scene's the first time you see the flash of Tyler Durden.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
You're just like, oh shit, what was that?
Yeah, who's that guy? It was him the whole time.
But you also find out like at work, like he's actually like has a legit job and like he like has to travel for it and stuff. And the guy's like, call me from the road if there's any problems.
Yeah, what is his job?
Like,
what is his? He's like an insurance. He basically
he works for like some sort of one of the major car. He says all he ever tells you is that it's a major car company.
Yeah,
but I think
but he's in insurance, like because he goes checks out claims and stuff.
Yeah,
like, to see if there was any foul play, I guess with.
Yeah, to see if it was like a recall.
Because there's like a burnt car he's taking pictures of and stuff. And then, but I like that he starts saying like, on a plane, it's every friend is a self-serving friend.
Yeah.
Like, and then when he meets Tyler Durden, he's like talking to him about it and says that. Yeah. And he's like, see, I have this thing. He's like, no, I get it. He's like, it's pretty clever. And he's like, how's that going for you? Being clever.
That's a great. Yeah,
because everything in his life is single serve. Everything.
Yeah.
He's like, you have single serve friends, single serve everything. Everything comes in a single serve. Single serve creamer, single serve sugar. Everything is just like packaged into a single serve. Yeah. So he's like, it's like everything is like a lonely.
Yeah.
Like, and everything is like short lived.
And he says that great line where he goes, on a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
Damn. I feel like the story is not very, I mean, like I said, I thought this was a pretty quick, like, plot overview, but, like, half of Tyler's lines, you're like, that's a poster right there. Yeah. Like, he just says, like, the one line, it's, like, I have it written down that it's like an hour and change in, hour and 20, something like that. And he says, you're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. You're the all-seeing, all-dancing crap of the world. And he says that to like the group of dudes. And I'm like, that's wild. Like his lines are so good.
He also tells Edward Norton when they're in the bar, and he's bitching about like, oh, I had this stuff from IKEA. I had the perfect apartment and stuff.
Was that that's after his apartment blows up?
Yeah,
right?
And
like towards the beginning of the movie.
And he tells him the things you own end up owning you.
Yep.
Yeah,
and he's like, just says like, stop worrying about all this shit. Because even when he goes to his house, this is a great part. When he goes to his house or his apartment is exploded, the fridge is on the ground, and all there is condiments in it, and. I think like Norton's like narration, like there's a lot of funny parts to that. Like, and he's like, he goes, "How embarrassing! A house full of condiments with no food."
That is pretty great.
Like after your house just exploded, that's all you can think about.
Yeah,
I love that scene. The previous scene, well, it's earlier of the apartment when he's cataloging everything that he has to buy from IKEA, and it fucking kills me because it's like
and it keeps filling.
It fills up just like the actual IKEA magazine that everybody has seen, and everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's a very specific format.
Really
the prices and names are put out in a certain way, and it's just laid out, and his whole apartment just starts.
Yeah, he's like taking a shit, and he's on the phone. And he's like, I'd like to order the royal blue dust ruffle.
Yeah, it is. Well, and. Like I said, I just think when the ending is revealed, when you find out that like him and Tyler were like one and the same, I think like looking back, if you if this was if you're listening now and this wasn't the first time you'd seen the movie, I think looking back, watching it again, knowing they're the same person, a lot of Tyler's lines is like what the narrator was thinking, basically.
There's a couple things that I can think of. The one they have the same briefcase when they're on the plane. So right when he says that weird, I think it's the same scene where he says the clever thing.
You find out he's a soap salesman.
He's like, oh, we have the same.
They have the same briefcase.
Yeah,
And then he pops it open, and he's like, soap.
Soap. Yeah, I don't think we said that, but Tyler, he sells soap.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny. He has a briefcase full of soap.
At one scene, the valet says, "Your car's here, Mr. Durden," and then he turns to Tyler and says, "Your car's ready, Mr. Durden." And then when they get in an accident, he's driving,
crazy.
And Edward Norton the narrator's in the passenger seat. But when they get pulled out, he gets pulled out of the
driver's side. So
there's
there are
like,
little crumbs.
Oh, there's so many things like that. Like
yeah.
I was watching this one video where they just dissect all the little things. Like they live on Paper Street. Paper Street is like a made up street that's not on a map.
Yeah, like a paper town. It's like a fake town,
right?
Basically.
So that house that they like move into in his midlife crisis. Like there's just like it's so like this movie is probably the number one. I like movies. Favorite person in movies. So most people would just write. I feel like most people write this movie off at this point because they're like, "Oh, dude, we get it. You like Fight Club.
Yeah.
You like Requiem for a Dream.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy. Like you know what I mean? But like,
if you start talking
really
about
it's a legit like awesome movie, regardless of the hype, regardless of like everybody seeing Fight Club. Like I think that's also something that people do is like when everybody sees something that's like, you know, something special and underground. It's like, oh well. I mean, that's like so last year. Like I did like Fight Club.
Yeah.
When I was in college, and it's like, dude, the movie stands up. Like I
really
watched
does.
it twice in 6 months, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think to build off of that, everyone speaks about what's the first rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club, and then no one talks about any more of the movie.
Well, yeah, and that's
like that, and that's a small part of the movie.
Before memes were memes,
yeah.
like Fight Club was like the most memeable thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was.
Well, I read that was supposed to be in the movie for plot wise. But it also was to remind people that have seen it, don't talk about it because of
that's
the
pretty
twist.
great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, don't talk about it.
Yeah, because there's
Gotcha.
like so that it was like a two meaning kind of thing.
Oh,
like,
did you hear about that? I saw this clip. I didn't know this. Rosie O'Donnell, when this movie was coming out, she despised this movie
saw that.
so much. She like detested it on her show, made sure nobody would watch it, and then she spoiled the ending live on television. This is before
that sucks.
This is way before movies came out. Like right after they were in theaters.
Yeah, that's why would you do
and
that?
Brad Pitt said it was unforgivable.
Yeah,
because it was so toxic.
He's like, you are not invited to Fight Club.
But the thing about it is if you think this movie is about toxic masculinity in a positive way, you're missing the entire point of the movie.
Yeah,
it is about toxic masculinity for sure, but it's not saying like, cool man, everyone should do this. It's like, this is a weird inner turmoil that most people are going to go through in their lives.
Yeah,
probably. Even if you're more feminine, you're probably going to go through something similar like this.
I think I actually found a lot of similarities, which is like this is probably I don't think it's going to be that wild, but like with the Barbie movie just coming out, like it's an older audience looking at like, oh yeah, you grow up and shit gets lonely and it gets harder and you have to find meaning in your life and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's funny to talk about like, oh yeah, they're the same movie, but like, I think it has a very I think it's something that like you can watch multiple times and think about it differently depending on where you are in your life. And it's like,
that's actually, I didn't think about that, but that's like, that would be like the female perspective of like, oh, I have to be proper. I have to do this. I have to be subservient to the male dictator. Like,
but it's the same group of people that's like, oh, can you believe what they did to men in Barbie? And you're like, dude, you missed the whole point of that movie if that's what you think.
Don't watch the movie or just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like there's many other movies to watch. Or don't watch movies at all. I don't really give a shit what you do.
Well, I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
Oh! You want to stand on this one?
Yeah. I pointed
box.
at Keith held up the
soapbox is the box.
That's what I was getting
for the DVD.
Yeah.
And it has soap on it.
Well, I realized
if you stand on my fucking DVD again, I told him don't do that.
I realized I pointed at it, but this is an audio only show, so that would have been.
Oh, there's not video yet. I thought we had a camera. Well, my camera's right over there.
Keith's like, I've been hiding cameras in the bathroom.
You didn't upload that footage. So, all right. Before we move on, I will say this movie did make me feel weird the last time I watched it, and it's because
it's because Brad Pitt's shirtless.
Well, no, it like sunk in a little bit more than the last time, and it's because it just feels like he's the everyman, right?
Yeah.
You can't help but feel like the everyman, and not because they're like, oh man, it's not like a Truman Show thing where like I think the whole world's watching me. It's like this is literally
it's the opposite.
It's like holy shit, this is like real life. Do I work and hate? Well, I don't hate going to work, but it's like the monotony of the everyday, and then you get caught up in it, and you become just like a boring like piece of waste of space. You feel like, and then all of a sudden like something kicks in. Like I guess your primal nature kicks in, and you realize, oh fuck, I got to do something like wild. I got to do something.
Yeah.
I need a release. I need something to figure it out. Some people get into motorcycles. Some
Yeah.
people like.
This is just like the early onset midlife crisis is what this
But,
movie
like,
talks about.
it can be so
Like,
blinding, and then like insomnia. I've been there where
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep at all, and like, things start to make less sense.
Yeah.
Like your fucking delusions
Yeah.
bleed in.
Yeah.
You become way less stable, and you feel like, whoa, I don't think I have any control of what's happening.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like
You're fighting
you're
people
in
in a
an
parking
underground-
lot.
Well, that's the,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. Like when they create the Fight Club,
Yeah.
it's like that gives them the purpose, like you were just saying, and it's
Yeah.
like so then they're there, and like there's all these guys coming in, like you said, like
Yeah.
they're like I want to fight, and then he's like, and you like these guys might be, excuse me, these guys might be coming and saying like, oh, I'm just gonna watch tonight, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's like. if
Oh,
it's your-
I have the rules. Do you want me to read them?
yeah,
Real quick?
if you want to read them, yeah.
So this is like just to give context to this basically part in the movie. So Tyler, when he has essentially they've been getting more and more people, and then this is the first time that they're all together in like the basement, the official, I would call it, headquarters of it.
Yeah.
And he says, "Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. The third rule of Fight Club: someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out, the fight is over. Fourth rule: only 2 guys to a fight. Fifth rule: 1 fight at a time, fellas. Sixth rule: no shirt, no shoes. Seventh rule: fights will go on as long as they have to. And the eighth and final rule: if this is your first time at Fight Club, you have to fight."
Yeah, like if you were like there and you're like, I'm just gonna watch tonight. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're fighting, and like
You're like, yeah, I totally 7 rules, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like the 8th one, he's like, "What's up?"
yeah, oh, I'm fighting,
I'm fighting. Yeah.
and it's great. And then I love what he says when he's in the office and he's all like bloody and stuff, and he's like talking about Fight Club in his mind.
Yeah.
Edward Norton, and he's like, a guy comes to Fight Club for the first time. His ass was made of cookie dough. After a few weeks, he was carved out of wood, which is great.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of carved out of wood, did we talk about Brad Pitt?
oh my god, it's
Come
carved out
on.
of like fucking soap.
I'm telling you, we
the soap man.
he's the soap man. Don't put him in the heat
He
or in the
is so-
water.
He is so fucking caught up and chiseled for this.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
The I'm curious to see how many people after this movie came out. I said this before we were recording, but I think it holds true. How many people took a screenshot, a Polaroid, whatever you had to do back in the day, of Brad Pitt in Fight Club and was like, "Make me look like this," to like any personal trainer. I'll bet there was a lot of people that did
And the
that.
guy's like, I don't know. If I
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't had a carb since 1982.
There's a do you guys watch Always Sunny at all?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Rob
I love it.
McElhenney, when he lost all the weight,
Oh, yeah.
and he got like shredded.
Yeah, he did.
He said that he showed his trainer a picture of Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Oh, so there's some
Oh,
substance to
shit.
that.
There was there's
Okay.
a second part to it, and he went through his basically his regiment of like what he had to do, and he was like, I would rather do anything else than have to go through like the pain that
that's
it took to.
crazy,
He
dude.
said he literally only looked like that for like 2 weeks before he was like, all right, we filmed it. All right, I'm never doing this again, and then he just
Yeah.
like completely stopped.
You talking about
doing
Rob,
it.
or are you talking about
Rob McElhenney?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine that Brad Pitt did something similar. Like that's insane.
Yeah, well,
Maybe a little
also,
gear.
Edward Norton lost like 17 to 20 pounds to play the narrator because he was in American History X right
He's
before
fucking
this.
Yeah.
stocky.
Yeah, he's fucking like.
Oh, so they wanted him to be a little more scrawnier.
Yeah, they
in this?
wanted him to be
He's gonna
scrawny.
be because Brad Pitt's the
he's
guy
like-
that you think you are when you go to the gym.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's
Edward Norton's
like
what you
he
want.
with
said,
your
like,
10-pound
yeah,
dumbbells.
like he said, he's like the everyman. Like he's just like an average dude.
Yeah.
So he had to lose the weight, and he said the way he did it was he just was like just not eating like he was for American History X, and then like they had catered food every day on
Yeah.
the set, and he just never ate it. Like he was just like just ignored it the whole time. I was like, damn.
Dude,
That's dedication.
dude, that's like you said. You gotta ignore the milk duds. You gotta ignore the
Yep.
gummies and Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah,
gotta
you
ignore
got to
the
drink
cookies.
Dr Pepper Zero Sugar.
That's how you get that
Yep.
Fight Club buddy.
Yeah.
Dude, the other scene I wanted to talk
Me and
about.
Jack are on it right
is,
now, dude. We're gonna meet.
Yeah, we're on the Brad Pitt
Yeah.
right now.
We're gonna fucking do.
Yeah,
we're
guys,
doing-
I'm drinking.
when they-
I'm drinking my zero sugar
You
stuff.
want
No,
to
that's
stay
fine.
and do wind sprints with us afterwards?
Yeah, we got a
just gonna
we
throw
got a
the ball for
tight
the
6
dogs.
hour
Yeah,
workout.
we said we were
after
gonna
this.
watch. We said we were gonna watch a movie, but we're gonna actually
Yeah.
run.
We're gonna be
It's
sprinting.
gonna be hot in the back.
But,
You guys have read The Long Walk by Stephen King.
Dude, when
you
they-
guys are gonna recreate
when they
the 200-mile journey.
When they make the soap and they steal that fat,
Yeah.
that scene is crazy, dude.
Dude.
He's like the most creamiest, luscious fat
Ugh.
you can
The
get.
lipo
And then
fat.
the fucking one gets stuck on the barbed wire. And he's trying to
I
hold it. He's
hate
like,
it.
no.
I hate it.
And then
It's
what's the
like-
line? Do you have the line where when he starts selling the soap back? He's like, "Oh my!" This lady's like, "Oh, that's the best soap I ever had." And what do you say? He's like, "We sell these."
He's like, he was selling their fat asses back to them.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
then-
crazy.
That is crazy, yeah.
And then, but when he takes them home to show him how to cook it, and he puts the lye on his hand. Remember
Yeah,
that
it's
part?
brutal.
And he's
Yeah.
like, and he like kisses his hand. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And he's like, "This is a chemical burn." He
Yeah.
pours it on. And he's like, "Ah!" He's like flipping out, and then he's like, but he like tells him, he's like, "You don't know how this feels," and he shows him his hand,
Yeah.
and then he tries to like, okay, like get back to like.
Yeah.
Like and he's like, you can either put water on your hand and make it worse, or you can neutralize the burn with vinegar. And then he tells him, I love this line. He goes, "It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything."
Yeah, that's the quote I like.
And
Like,
it's
there's
like,
so many of these
damn, dude,
lines.
like, and he fucking puts the vinegar on his hand, and he just has a fucking brutal scar on
Yeah.
his hand.
This is a unlocking a repressed memory. Did you guys ever go to like an old timey school as like a field trip? To,
Oh,
like,
I
make
think meant like,
candles
did we
and
go
stuff?
to an old timey school?
No, no.
I'm
Like for
how old
for
do
a
you
field
think
trip.
we are, dude?
Yeah.
The old timey school.
Fucking
Yeah.
Jerry
Remember
had-
those?
No, did you guys ever do a field trip like
You
when
were
you were
like
in elementary school
1901.
or
Where
something?
were you in
Yeah.
1901? Were you in a school? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
The so I went to one. We did like a field trip to somewhere, and they had us make soap. And we
Oh,
were around
shit.
Lye, and I was in 5th grade. And I tell this story to my family and Emily, and they're like, "You're being dramatic." And I'm like, "This soap making process will haunt me." We were on Lye. I remember this old lady in like a freaking.
And she was like, "There's a chemical burn for you."
This lady raw dogged it, no gloves, was just pouring it into the thing. I was like, dude, I shit you not, I was this far away from just. I was like, this can't be good. But anyway,
That is
I
wild
just-
to have a bunch of
yeah.
fifth graders around lie. Like,
Around
just
lie,
one
yeah.
mistake.
Ask Em about it next time you see her.
She's gonna
This
tell me you're
is-
lying. She's gonna say, "Yeah, he's fucking."
This is really dumb because
She's like, "Yeah, I get it.
We
You went
watched
meta
this-
for Fight Club. I get it."
we watched this movie a lot.
Tangent over. I'm
when we were
sorry.
in like middle school going into high school, and we actually, me and my buddies, we did a fight club, and we would in our basements we would bring boxing gloves and fight each other,
Like, how hard were you hitting each other?
like pretty bad,
Pretty
like,
good.
Yeah,
I had another
And-
friend group that did the same thing.
and we were doing that like, and then we did.
Because this was before electricity, so you guys didn't have regular entertainment.
It was in the old time.
It's definitely
And
before
we,
cell phones for
and
sure.
we didn't do the lie obviously, but somebody said if you put salt on your hand and put ice,
Oh yeah.
it'll like burn. So we were doing that and shit, and like it was like so stupid.
This is
dude,
why
like,
guys
just to
live
be
shorter than women.
Fight Club, but like
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be like we would just like get together on like a Friday night. It's like all right, like Jack versus Joe, let's go, throw on the gloves, and like we just be like hitting each other and shit, and like so like. You asked if I've been in a fight. Like I've been in fights like that, but like never
Never.
like on the street. you
Yeah,
know,
never like a bare knuckle
but-
boxing tournament.
But it was
That's
like
how I got my
crazy. Like
first
we were
concussion,
doing
was
like
doing that.
we were doing that shit. Like it was so stupid, dude. Like and like then like someone would break in the basement. You'd be like, "Fuck!"
Like, God, like, dude, it's cool. It's
But
fine.
but yeah, that part's crazy when he does that, dude.
The
Like,
lie. But yeah, what other scenes did you guys have any other scenes we wanted to chat about? I mean,
Well,
there is so
I have a
much
funny
in this
thing.
movie.
No,
Funny
no.
thing about the lie. Funny thing about the lie thing. So Brad Pitt's parents didn't. I forget if they didn't want him to see the movie or he didn't want them to see the movie because they're like. But I'm like,
he didn't want them.
he didn't want them to see the movie.
Yeah.
So they watched the movie up until that part, and they tapped out on the hand scene.
Really, that's
so they
where
had
they
to see the
the camera, the
they had to see
360
they had to
camera.
see the Matrix
Yeah.
6, but they had.
Yeah,
And
that's wild.
supposedly him and Helena they had to like do hours and hours of just
Like,
noises.
Yeah.
it's pretty strange.
Like I guess he was really specific about the noises he wanted, so they had to just rehearse hours and hours of just audio for that scene.
Yeah, that's wild.
So he had to do that, go through all of that, film that scene, and then it gets to the hand scene, and his parents. What kind of movies? He's in California before this. He's in 12 Monkeys. He's in all these crazy ass movies.
I know.
Yeah.
And then he's in True Romance, and then they're just like, you know, this is where I draw the line.
This
is crazy.
That's too much.
Yeah.
I guess the rest of the movie does get more fucked up, and they're like, I don't want to see my son get a bullet through his head. But
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
Remember when the boss comes?
Oh yeah.
Lou,
dude,
and he's like, just beating the fuck out of Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Come on, Lou, let us use the space." And he's like, just pummeling him.
Yeah.
And then he jumps on him, and starts spitting all the blood on him, and then
he kind of throws up a little bit too, right?
He's like, "You can use the space." He freaks him out.
The blood is just pouring on his face.
And then right after that is the scene where Edward Norton goes in the boss's office.
He gets the funding.
Yeah, and
he starts slamming himself.
I love this fucking
scene. Go, please don't hit me again. And
and
he just does
the shirt pull. Yeah,
and he goes through the glass table, and then he hits himself through all the glass shelves.
So
and
he basically
it pauses. I love that, like when it pauses when he's about to go through.
Yeah,
and then you just like, shh. Just like,
I do love the next scene when he's got all of his stuff and he's just like.
Yeah, bleeding horribly.
52 paychecks, 40, 52 paychecks, all the equipment, and 40 plane ticket vouchers or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, Fight Club now has corporate funding.
It's pretty great.
But dude, to beat yourself up like that would be like, you can't do that. There's no way you
99 was a crazy year for movies. So this and The Matrix both got nominated. Matrix won for Best Sound by the Academy. So this actually got an Academy nom for Best Sound. Yeah. But it also lost to The Matrix for the MTV Movie Awards Best Fight. So
shit.
Neo wins in The Matrix, and this Edward Norton versus himself is nominated. But I just thought it was funny because I remember that. I remember those movie awards.
Yeah,
I remember because
it used to be a much bigger deal.
It was so crazy watching that scene, like with your parents are in there, and like they're like, "What is this? This guy's beating himself up." Like, they don't understand, and you're just like, "Yeah,
Fight Club."
Yeah, Mom, I've never seen this movie. This is crazy.
But I think it's cool. Like, so after they get the corporate funding, you can see like the club starts to grow. It seems like
they can do it every night now.
Yeah,
because he's not working, he's doing it, and they have all the money. Like it's like.
But then he starts to do like the Project Mayhem stuff, where they start like targeting consumerism. Essentially, I feel like it's pretty silly that it's like, oh yeah, we're all doing oh, we have this club, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna start vandalizing businesses, and everyone's like, yeah, like it takes a weird turn, and then obviously as the movie goes on, you see Meatloaf's character get shot by the police, which like. Also,
that's crazy.
When his body's there, that's a brutal scene. When they like open the thing up and he's all like,
I love that because they're like, oh, I get it. In death, you have a name, and then they all just start going, yeah, his name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson.
And Edward Norton's like, no.
No, guys, stop! And he's like, his name was Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
And then when he does get shot, they say sometimes when you make an omelet, you have to break a couple eggs.
Oh, dude!
Yeah,
and his head, his brains are just fucking hanging out when they open up. But
I think I do think it's funny though that like he builds up Fight Club, and then you can see that scene is I think the turning point when they're like, oh, this is a cult now, and then he's trying to get answers, and like he has police in it, he has like his. Yeah, because the corporate people, and he's like, I need actual answers. Like, stop with these rules. And like, you can see that he like takes over it, starts it. He's really happy, and then it kind of like turns on him in the end. And then you see, obviously, as when you find out that I think it's almost like his psychosis breaks, and he's like, what have I been doing this whole time? And I think it's really cool. They play back all the scenes where it's like when Tyler had the gun on him, it's the scene where it was him holding the gun on himself, and you're like, oh, this is pretty wild.
That whole like the way that all progresses is crazy.
Yeah,
because he's like that's when he's going on the plane to try to find Tyler.
Yeah,
and he's going to all these places, and that guy with like the neck brace thing, he's like, "Hello, Mr.
Has the fucking post."
Yeah,
he's got like completely what happened to his thing?
He's like, "You were here last week." He's like, "What do you mean? Who am I?" And he's like, "You sure this isn't the test?" And he tells him he's Tyler Durden, and he's
like, "Yeah, you were here checking out the security last."
And he's like, then he starts kind of like, "What?" And then he calls Marla, and she calls him Tyler.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I was trying to find the line because he says something about a plane thing where he's like, he says something like, after the guy calls him Tyler Durden, he goes, please return your seats to the upright position. and like it's in his mind, and then when she calls him that, he goes, we just lost air cabin pressure or something like that. Like, when because he finally, and like that, I was saying to you guys earlier, like, that's coming, but like that still hits.
Oh, it's
that's still it's
like
incredible.
When she says that, and he is like gets the realization that
like shit.
You're like, holy fuck! Like this is crazy.
They do a really good job, even just in general. I think people think of this movie Fight Club, and you, in my opinion, I think of Brad Pitt, like being like, oh yeah, that Brad Pitt. He's got the so like I think they do a really good job marketing, even like the looking at the cover and stuff. Like they do a really good job of being like, no, Brad Pitt's the main guy, and then so even if you've seen it before, you're like, I mean, this has been the first time I'd seen it all the way through in like several years at this point, and I was like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt, and then you find out you're like, oh shit, I forgot. Like, I think it does have a really good effect. They did a really good job with it.
But there's scenes like earlier when when it's in the air tonight, doing the old thing. The next morning she comes down, and he thinks he's talking to Tyler, and it's her, and then he goes, what are you doing in my house? And she's like, you can tell she's looking at him like, oh, cool. So it was just like a one night stand kind of thing. Like, what are you doing here? But he really doesn't understand
that they were.
But then it all like, but her reaction is just like, cool. I'm used to this from shitheads, but like I didn't think you were a shithead.
And he keeps telling Brad Pitt keeps telling Norton like, don't ever speak to her about me.
Oh yeah.
Remember, like he keeps telling him that.
And then he says at one point, he's like, if I only had saved her from her overdose that night, but he did.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize it because he's just like manic psychosis.
Yeah.
You know what other scene I love is the human sacrifice scene.
Oh man, that is crazy.
Raymond Castle.
Yes.
And he like brings him out, and he's like, ask him all the questions. He's like, what would you go to school for? Biology. He's like, what did you want to be? He's like, I don't know. He's like, tells him a vet, and then he's like, I'm gonna hold on to your license if I'm gonna check up on you in 6 months. If you're not on your way to becoming a veterinarian, you will be dead. And then he's like, and he just starts running. And the cool thing, and I just noticed this on this rewatch, is that later in the movie when Edward Norton wakes up and Brad Pitt's gone, remember that in the house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's walking around and he's like, where the hell is he? When he goes in Tyler Durden's room and shuts the door, all these licenses are on the door. It says human sacrifices.
Oh, I didn't
and
notice
he has
that.
There's 40 licenses on his
That's
door.
Wild.
And they're just all shaken. And I just noticed that this time.
That's pretty cool.
I've seen this movie probably like 10 times, maybe more, and I just noticed that right then.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, he has like so many Easter eggs built into his movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, which was cool. Like I was like, oh, so he.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what? Did you guys have any other scenes you want to talk about? I knew Jack. You said you had a couple phone facts. Do you want to jump to those, or is there a couple more scenes you wanted to talk about?
Marla's great. That's all I gotta say.
Marla.
She's like
awesome.
So awesome.
She does. Yeah, she does a great job.
Well, we already talked about pretty much the Robert Paulson scene. I mean, one scene that's crazy is when he beats the fuck out of Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And he just fucking...
Dude, can we just talk about what Jared Leto looks like in this movie? He looks more fucked up
the blonde.
in this movie than he does as the Joker.
Yeah.
But when he
looks so fucked up. I'm like, dude, those blonde eyebrows did not hold up, bro. That is crazy.
It's just crazy because he beats him so bad. Like, just punching him, and then, like, Brad Pitt, like, even, like, turns around and can't even look because he, like, puts on his coat.
Yeah.
And then he, like, lights his cigarette, and, like, he's walking by, and he says to Norton, he goes, where'd you go, psycho boy? And he goes, I felt like destroying something beautiful. And then the next time you see Leto, his fucking eyes all
he's
like...
all jacked up.
He gets demolished.
It's like, dude, it's crazy.
Oh, another scene where you can see the split happening is when that boss Lou comes down and he's like prompting to hit him. The first time he hits him in the stomach, Edward Norton is standing behind him and he like falls like a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he just like he eats the punch, like it's him.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's just cool. Like
it's
so layered in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And
definitely recommend rewatching this if anyone hasn't seen it in a while.
That car scene is cool too. when they're in the car and they're fighting. He's like, I should fucking know about Project Mayhem, and he's like, grabbing onto the wheel, and he's like, look at you. He's like, you're grabbing the wheel. He's like, let it go, and like they just let it go and go smash into that car.
Yeah.
And just like it's a huge car accident. It's like,
yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, and then he wakes up. That's when he wakes up and Durden's gone.
Yeah, and Keith mentioned this earlier, but he's being pulled out of the driver's seat. So it's like you do see
cool.
all these little
I didn't pick up on that.
Little like homages.
Some
it's pretty
YouTube
cool.
video showed me that.
Shout out to that guy.
I don't know. Like it's like a lot. There's like I guess I'm just stupid. I would never notice that, but like it does happen like that.
But like
sometimes you need some fucking cliff notes. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, and then he goes to the police station and tells them about everything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why credit card companies? And he's like, if you erase the debt record, we all go back to zero. Complete mayhem.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
And then when they're... Oh, dude, there's so many scenes. When they're in the fucking restaurant, him and Marla, and he's like, whatever you want is free of charge, sir. And she's like, why is it free of charge? Whatever. And she orders all this food. And then he goes, clean food, please. And he goes... I suggest she doesn't get the clam chowder. He's like, no clam chowder.
No clam chowder.
Don't they say at some point that he got in trouble for urine in the clam chowder?
Yeah,
they're
right? Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden is on trial for the urine count in the soup or something. But yeah, and then when you find out the cops are on it.
Yeah,
And I love what he says when he grabs their gun and he comes. He goes, if any of you guys follow me, you're going to get a lead salad.
Lead salad.
And then he says, and then he runs. He goes, I ran until my muscles burned and my veins pumped battery acid.
Yeah, that's a pretty badass.
I was like, damn, dude, like this. And he's like, and then I ran some more. I was like, damn, dude, like, it's crazy.
That is a great line.
But yeah, and then after that, it just goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's when it hits that line that Keith loves.
You met me at a really strange time in my life.
Yeah.
And they're just standing there holding hands.
And one of the greatest songs ever written is playing.
Yeah. That Pixie song.
Pixies,
yeah.
Dude.
This
That
is
song,
Where Is My Mind, right?
That song might be, alright, this is crazy. That song might be one of the heaviest songs ever written. And not because it sounds like death metal or anything like that. Like I've heard physically heavier songs, but that song hits like a ton of fucking bricks. Like every time.
It was very well placed in this movie.
It hits.
Too.
Like Alone, wasn't that song? You're either in a good space or you're in a bad space. You need to be in a good space.
With
like it is
all the buildings crashing while that's playing. That is
song.
cool.
And then on top of this, and then that line, and then they turn around and walk away. So that's the part where I'm like, okay, they even got me in that romance shit right at the end here. Like, this is fucking
incredible.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
But yeah, Jack, do you want to do your phone facts to bring us home?
Yeah. So I got some phone facts here. Let me just see real quick. So, remember when he goes in the cave?
Yeah.
And the penguin comes?
Yeah.
Well, apparently the visible breath in the cave scene is a recycled Leonardo DiCaprio breath from Titanic.
Wow.
Which was...
That's your boy.
I know. I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Jack's like, I know that breath from anywhere.
That's a Leo breath.
I could smell it on him.
But yeah, that was composited into the shot.
Oh, yeah, I watched a video where they show it back to back, and it is
it's
crazy.
The same thing.
I couldn't even. I was like, what does that even mean? It's the same breath.
What does it even mean?
He like sucked it up. He's like, I'm gonna need this for later.
And then he was like, so then Brad Pitt, he wasn't overly interested in making this film. David Fincher actually went and talked to him and pitched it while he was doing Meet Joe Black. And then Meet Joe Black was not a good box office hit.
Anything's better than this.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. That's and then, I already said that. They originally wanted Russell Crowe to play Tyler Durden.
No, that wouldn't have been good.
But the one guy was overruled, and the guy who wanted Russell Crowe actually was like, I'm glad he was overruled because he can't see anyone else playing.
Yeah,
Durden
he was perfect in that.
And then a couple of people that were nominated, or not nominated, that might have played Marla was Courtney Love, Winona Ryder, and then it got down to Reese Witherspoon, or I think that was...
Blonde. There's one more blonde. I remember seeing that too.
Yeah.
I forget who the other blonde was. The other blonde made less sense though.
Yeah, but they were gonna play, and then Helena Bonham Carter got picked, obviously. And then, the detectives in the film, they were named Detective Andrew, Detective Kevin, and Detective Walker. Andrew Kevin Walker wrote Seven.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was kind of a nod to
that's
like
cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Then they said as filming progressed, Edward Norton deliberately lost weight and slept less. Brad Pitt indulged in tanning bed sessions.
Yeah.
And then
I did hear that they actually got into soap making for this movie too. They got into like all the martial arts and stuff to like be able to train the fight scenes.
Oh yeah,
Also
I saw that too.
learn how to
Yeah,
make soap.
That's pretty.
Nick's like, I did it first. I did it in fucking fifth grade.
OGs represent.
Yeah, I thought July 1st, whatever.
and then Matt Damon and Sean Penn were considered for the role of the narrator.
I could see Sean Penn doing it. I can't see Matt Damon doing it.
And then actually Edward Norton, he auditioned for Man on the Moon.
Oh, Jim Carrey.
And it was between him and Jim Carrey. Like Milos Forman could not decide. They both killed the audition, but they chose Jim Carrey because he was a bigger box office.
Have you seen that movie
pull.
though? Man on the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie.
No.
That movie would not make sense with.
I think I did see it a long time ago.
It only makes sense with Jim Carrey.
But then Matt Damon took the talented Mr. Ripley role.
Great
and then they were
yeah,
like,
that's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, 99 is a fucking crazy year.
So that was like they wanted him and stuff, and then 3 directors were offered the film prior to Fincher: Peter Jackson and David O. Russell.
Bryan Singer said he didn't read the script. I saw that.
Oh yeah,
X-Men.
I think that's
He said didn't read the script.
But yeah, so like, and then David Fincher turned down the offer to direct 8mm.
Yeah,
to direct this film.
Movie. Have you seen that one? Nick Cage, Joaquin Phoenix, Underground Smut.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that was good.
Not smut. What's actual killing? What is it? I forget. What it's
Yeah,
called. But yeah, that's crazy. Movie.
That is a crazy
it's so
movie.
Good. That's one of the first R-rated movies I saw.
But my last one was Kira Sedgwick and Renee Zellweger were considered for the role of Marla, which
I think Zellweger is the one I heard about.
which I don't think would have worked.
No,
but those are my phone facts. Like, but that's crazy. I mean, 8mm is dark as fuck.
That's
too.
a really dark movie.
So that was Joel Schumacher.
See, 8mm kind of fits closer to 7.
It does.
Like it's like more that style.
Yeah.
But I would say another movie that kind of hits harder now than it did. Totally different movie.
Yeah.
Office Space. Like it's still a comedy. It's still funny.
Yeah.
But
I watched that one recently, and the scene that
it hit way different.
That's
the scene that got me was when he's there. There's like in the interview, and he's like, "It's not that I'm lazy. I just don't care." And he's like, goes on, and he's like, "Well, if I mess up, I don't have one. I have 3 people telling me the same thing." And you're like, "Oh my God, corporate America's doomed."
It's too fucking real.
Yeah. But what did we have anything else to close this one out? Should we end it with the first rule?
We don't talk about it, even though we just talked about it.
I'm deleting this episode. We can't talk
just
about
delete it.
All right. First rule, Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. Until next time.